feel to still be talking about this show so many years later?
I have mixed feelings, probably not what people would think. I feel like we were duped. I feel like we are not given our due justice. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like people leech off of us and don't give us our props. I think that they think, they'll make little sly comments, oh, they're this, they're that, but we made this shit. And I know I always say that us because it was in a whole, but I will say for myself, I was a big impact in that show. I wasn't just a side person, following behind somebody like me or anybody that got eliminated early. I was a big, you know, character in that show. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like we don't get, our due justice at all.
I remember watching Flavor of Love when it was out in real time. And I hate to date you right now, but seasons 1 and 2 came out when I was in the 5th and 6th grade.
Hmm.
And that used to be the talk of the town at lunchtime at the cafeteria table. Like it was
Really?
a huge show. Yes, it was so huge to the point that my mom, who has always been a police officer all my life, who was like very strict on me, would allow me to stay up that extra hour past my bedtime to watch the show with me. My mama was watching the show with me. That was like one of the first shows her and I actually watched together. So Flavor
Oh,
of Love is an iconic show that brought in a lot of ratings and that really like jump started what I feel like is modern day reality TV. So I definitely understand your feelings in saying that you guys don't feel like you don't get your just due. What are some of the things you feel like you should be getting at this point?
at this point, I just feel like even back then there weren't the shows that were out now, but even now they're calling people icons that are not icons. They're calling people, oh, you're reality royalty when they're not reality royalty. They're calling them that when they were just on a show and that's it. It's like, oh, well, because they have a show now, we're calling them that. That's not reality royalty. That's not iconic. That's not, that's why these shows are redundant and there's no, oomph to it like our show was because,
Mm-hmm.
they're just getting anybody and everybody to be an icon just because in their eyes they're relevant. But at the end of the day, Flavor Love 2, season 2 will always be iconic. It will always be.
I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, no tea, no shade, or I wouldn't be talking to you right now. You know what I'm saying? I only like to talk to the
And
icons about iconic things.
And I tell people all the time, like the little kids that make all their negative comments, it makes me laugh because they still watch my content. They still posting that what just went viral a couple days ago, me and my mom and Monique. So I'm just sitting here like memes of me in New York. We're the most memed out of all of the girls,
Mm-hmm.
all these years, whether we were on TV or not, me and New York have been the number one memes throughout, history since the show.
What are some of your memes you see used the most of you on social media?
I see the one with the pink monkey blanket from
Mm-hmm.
Charm School. And they'll put their own little titles, but it's always different title. But I see the most that pink blanket. Um, let's see, Flavor of Love mostly. They use a couple of them. They use me going off on something. They use me going off on Laylene. They use a couple of them.
Yeah. Boozy used to be going bananas on those people.
Hmm.
And I think the fact that y'all had like a zero tolerance physical contact rule really upped the ante when it came to y'all verbally sparring. Like, bitch, I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want to say because we can't really hit each other if we want to actually stay on the show.
Hmm.
And you went up against all of them. New York being probably the biggest contender.
I feel like I conquered her. I was the only one. And that's the reason why I hate when people try to bring up, like I tell people, I enjoy New York as well. I'm not a hater.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, season 2 trumped her season. She did not make our season. Our season became number one in the whole entire world out of her season before she even got on, was a
Mm-hmm.
special guest. So people love to I think what they do is they like certain people or they just try to make us mad. So they say things like, oh, she did this for y'all. She didn't do nothing for us. We did it for us. We was totally different from season 1. Those girls were totally different. We shoved them girls aside and we stamped it. Period. And I feel like because we are different, that's why people liked us. But nowadays, people like people to copy, like you said. They just as long as they copy and stuff, they feel like, oh, they have a show, so it's relevant. Let's say that they're icons. No, they're not. They're not. Like, I don't like that.
Dare I ask you, who do you feel has gotten icon status in the reality TV game and they should not have it?
I feel like everybody on Zeus. I feel like everybody on Zeus. I feel like yeah, everybody on Zeus. Meaning like even from, they wanted me to do I Love Money so bad. I said no because I felt like they wanted me to do a show with New York's people. I'm on a higher level than that. So when we were talk about that, I'm speaking of, and I told them it's no shade to them because I've never met them, real and chance, and God bless real soul. But I will say that at the end of the day, I'm on a higher level than them. So why am I doing a show with them? Do you understand what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
that's a lot of people ask, well, why weren't you doing I Love Money? That's why. I'm not, I felt like I did my dues. I did my dues. You guys are trying to throw me in here, make y'all all this money. That Charm School episode was all about me. I didn't win Charm School. Anything affiliated with me, I made it a show. That's an icon. You can't say that for a lot of people. The shows were not made. They may have been liked or had, whatever. But when it comes to a person like me and even New York, there's nobody that you could say stood out more.
Mhm.
Nobody. When I was the only one standing up to her, I was the only one saying something to her.
I
When
love your confidence.
so I just feel like, and when you ask me like what shows, like when it comes to shows like villains, there I'm the first villain of reality television besides New York.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm the first villain. Most of those people are not villains at all. I was the number one. Me and Omarosa. Me and Omarosa had the same publicist back in the day after Charm
Oh
School.
wow.
Me and her we used to go to dinner together, her and her mom, me and my mom. So they used to look at us like them two bitches. We was the two bitches of reality television. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. And at the end of the day, like if they want to talk about a villain, you know what I'm saying? That was the stamp on who I was. And me and Pumpkin actually won Best Fight for the first reality awards they had in Hollywood that people don't even know about, except for the people in Hollywood who actually attended.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things and accolades that we did have and we should have. Like shows like that. I heard of a show called Traitors. I haven't watched it, but I think that would be
It's
a
a
good
huge
fit.
thing.
Yeah, I think that would be a good fit for someone like me, because they said that it's icons. So I feel I fit that. So things like that, those shows weren't around. So I just feel like, those would be more suited for us, but they just weren't around back then. But
Mhm.
now that they are, they need to give people their just dues that actually paid it. We paved the way for every single person. And I'm not gonna knock Zeus. What they're doing is what they're doing. But at the end of the day, a lot of them are not icons. They're not, they're just entertaining. There's a difference. You know,
Would you join Zeus?
it would have to be for a big bag, and what would be the purpose?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Better-
and
Well,
it would have to be respectful. I'm not on the level like of them girls. I'm on a higher level, and I don't like when people think, oh, you haven't been on TV this long. It don't matter, bitch. That's what makes me iconic. I don't have to be on TV every year. I don't have to do any of those things because what I bring, I have a track record, and my track record speaks for itself. So any show that I get on, they're getting their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't feel like I have to prove myself. You know what I'm saying? To
yes.
anyone. And I think that would be the only problem with shows like that. But as long as it had a purpose and it was my
Mhm.
own show, cool.
You better let freedom ring.
Okay.
What I really enjoy about Zeus, well, one of the things I really enjoy about Zeus is how they're putting some of our favorite and most loved and iconic reality TV personas back to work. They've put Nene back to work. They gave Real and Chance an opportunity. New York was even over there supporting them. And so I could really see a space being carved out, very similar to what they've done with Baddies, to where they can bring a lot of those flavor of love girls back, inject them into modern entertainment and let them be consumed by the masses. Like, I think that'd be really dope. And Zeus got the money. Zeus got a lot of money. A lot.
Well, I would just say, why haven't I not done that?
Maybe somebody hasn't given them an idea, impressed them about it, you know?
Well, I feel like New York joining Chance's show, that should have been a deal, which you only join their show unless you have your own. Because I've heard some nasty things that he said about her, and I feel like I don't care what you say about any of the girls, but you can never dog New York for what she has done. She put him on the map. And I
Nasty
hope
things like what?
you didn't see somebody showed me a video of Chance saying, I guess after she went on his show on Zeus saying, "Oh fuck that bitch," and all. You didn't see that?
Mm-mm.
It was a video where he said, "Fuck that bitch." She mad at me because I guess she did a she did something like a reunion with the boys on her
Mm-hmm.
show, something like that on VH1. Do you remember
She
that?
did. She
Okay.
did. She
I guess
did.
I haven't watched these things, but this is what I just saw his rant on New York, and I felt some type of way, like, oh wow, like because at the end of the day, let's keep it real. New York was very humble from the clips I've seen on his show.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand where that energy came from, and I just feel like that type of energy is the reason why a lot of us don't want to do shit because it's like people think just because they're on a show, they don't want to give nobody their props. At the end of the day, she had him on her show. She wasn't asking him to kiss her ass, but the energy that he brought was he said fuck that bitch and all types of shit. You could pull it up. He said all types of things. And it was very nasty. And I seem to get that same energy for certain people too. Like people just like to say a lot of dumb shit. And I'm the type where I'll read your ass. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that goes to the point of I feel like she probably I don't want to say what her thoughts are, but I would regret even supporting his shit after him saying that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. After that, she should have got her own shit on Zeus from off top because I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
You don't give a fuck. And that's
Mhm.
what I like. You don't give a fuck. Going back to you not being on reality TV right now, is it that you haven't gotten any offers to join any shows or you're not taking any that are being given to you? What's the deal?
Well, ever since I left reality. Like I told people, I
Mm-hmm.
left Charm School. They made it look like I was eliminated, but I really left. At the end of the day, I got tired of the bullshit. I got tired of being just treated like I wasn't worth anything when I was worth everything. I was making every show, making every show.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of it. I got tired of it. I left. I ended up getting married. I had children. I'm divorced now, but I raised my kids on my own with no
Congratulations,
help at
baby. That's a
all. Thank
blessing.
you. So I
Mm-hmm.
think people try to look at that like, oh, she ain't doing this. I've heard people say that, but they don't know what I really do in my real life. I'm actually very educated. I'm actually going for a couple of more degrees right now as we speak.
I love that.
Reality television has always been my side job. I hate when people say, "Oh, career," and "Oh, your career." No, sweetie, my career is very intact. This is a side job for me. You know, any extra money, that's cool, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not a career for me. You know what I'm saying? It's very fickle. As you can see, people love you one day. Like I told one of my friends the other day, I was like, let me get on the show right now, or let people find out I'm a billionaire or I'm this and that. All these people are going to try to do this and that. It's all about clout. People don't love you for real. They love you when they hear about what you have. They love you. That's why I keep my life very private. They love to see what you have, who likes you. I'm not that type of person. You're going to love me for who I am, or you're going to get the fuck up out of here. Like, you don't need to know. You don't need to know my status in what
Mm-hmm.
I have in the bank. You don't need to know none of that because that means that you're a clout chaser. You're trying to look and an opportunist. You're trying to look for
Mm-hmm.
something that you could use. And I don't like that. And I'm starting to realize that's what the TV is right now, or the apps, because now it's like all about the apps. It's all about, well, what are you showing on Instagram? Oh, she's not showing this, so she's not doing that. That's not necessary. I'm from LA. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of billionaires who go to Starbucks on their bikes looking like bums, and you would never know that they're a billionaire. That's
Mm-hmm.
where I'm from. That's the world I come from. We don't show your value and what you have to other people because you already got it. When you don't have it is when you start being flashy. You start faking it for the gram. People faking relationships with bitches they don't even really fuck with. They cheating and shit. You know what I'm saying? Being in bitches DMs. You know what I'm saying? That's fun. I don't want no coward ass nigga. Nigga, if you can't claim me and another bitch, you need to get the fuck on. You too weak for me.
Wait, claim you and another bitch?
As long as if they not married, it ain't no side bitch. So you just got two bitches, and I'm gonna have about four niggas. I'm just saying.
That is
People be doing
funny.
crazy stuff. But it's all for the gram. You get that's
Yeah,
the thing. Like
yeah.
everybody doing shit for the gram. I be knowing a lot about people in these streets. I got my little only what is it called? Close friends. I be talking
Mm-hmm.
all types of shit
you
because I be knowing a lot.
you need to start a podcast and and start telling it.
I don't know.
And just start telling it, fuck it.
Look,
Fuck it.
when they start fucking with me, then it's gonna go down.
Oh, I've seen it. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. I ain't gonna mention it, but I saw something probably like a year ago. I said, "Ooh, Bootz still don't fuck off, bitch."
Mm-mm.
And
That's
I didn't.
my motherfucking business. You know what I'm saying? I mind my business. I'm for what is right. And I just
Mhm.
feel like if I see something, I'm gonna say something. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this: we touched on the first season of Flavor of Love. In your opinion, who's more iconic, Flavor of Love season one, the cast, or the cast of Flavor of Love season two? Who's more iconic?
Season 2, of course. And the
Tell me
ratings, and
why.
the ratings. And I think I love the fact that there was no social media except for what MySpace had just started or something.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no influence. So I love the fact that our ratings were pure ratings. And what I mean by that is
Mm-hmm.
these were people who genuinely, like you said, your mom watched it. My mom's bosses watched it. Every person of every race watched our show because they genuinely were entertained. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's missing nowadays. Because it's all about people see what other people like and then they follow the trend. They may not even like that show, but they'll do it because they see their followers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When our show was out, I feel like it spoke for itself. And that's where it went. It went from who had the most ratings on what show, because those are the people who are actually taking time out to go home, turn
Mm-hmm.
on the TV, not looking
Mm-hmm.
back at YouTube or whatever. They're literally watching in that moment. I don't know if any of these shows could do that in this time and make those type of ratings off top.
What were your season's ratings?
I'm not sure, but I know they said we were number one in the world. Nobody has
Yeah.
ever topped it. I know that. We were told, and that's why we were in the magazines Britney Spears was in. People
Yeah.
don't realize that. We were in all the Star, what was it? Star. We might have even been in People, but we were in the top, you know, magazines. And I
Yeah.
also would say too, I don't like the Jersey Shore people. Like, I start thinking about that because they were wearing costumes of us when we was out because they had just came out. And they start acting like, remember that little clip? I seen a clip of them with Scrappy from Love and Hip Hop, and they was talking about, oh, we the number one show. We was the first one out. No, the fuck y'all was not. They was trying to, I guess it was like some award show. Have you seen that?
No. Girl,
It
you
was
giving me
something
so
like
much
Jersey
tea over
Shore.
here.
Yeah, Jersey Shore was telling, I guess, Scrappy and them that I don't know if it was Love and Hip Hop that Scrappy won. He was something Scrappy was on. He was standing there.
Is this
And
recent, like in recent times?
this is a couple years ago. But yeah,
Okay.
recent. Yeah, recent, but not recent. Does that make sense? It was recent
Yes.
more so than a
Uh-huh.
couple years back, where
Yeah.
Love and Hip Hop had won something, I think, or was it Scrappy? It was one of those. And Jersey Shore was basically saying we were the first reality show and did it. No, the fuck y'all was not. That's one thing that makes me mad. Like, I know, and so do the other girls. They were having costumes of every one of us because they were fans of us. But because we are not on TV now, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
people try to underrate shit, and I don't like that shit. And nobody's calling it out, and that makes me mad. Like, no one's calling it out, so I'ma call that shit out.
I know that's
The
right.
only reason they even popped, which really I don't even think they popped, they didn't never topped us. They only doing what they doing because they're not of color. Think about it. Why is it that what's her name, Snooki or whatever her name, got socked in the face? That's how y'all ended up getting all them ratings because they wanted to see why this girl got socked in her face. Then after that, like I said, why didn't we get the stuff that they had? We had more ratings than y'all because of our color. That's what it was. We're a black show. They didn't give us what they got. They were what on MTV or what they
Mm-hmm.
VH1? One of MTV.
MTV. Mm-hmm.
They didn't get the ratings we got. They didn't get none of that. But they over here hosting in Vegas. They doing all this stuff, making millions. We've heard of what they made. They made millions of dollars upon millions of dollars. They didn't give us that. They didn't give us that. And I feel cheated. I feel like we made that network for sure. I know for a fact I did. I know for the fact I could say that. I can boast about that. I can say that I put a lot into that. I've gotten criticized for that. I stood on all my shit. And I feel like you know, everybody just, I don't know. Some people are just afraid to say shit, but I ain't.
And I
You know, we
loved
got
it.
cheated out some shit. And I feel like they need to go on and remake it up to us. Period.
Yeah, period.
You know?
I feel like we got cheated out some shit. I love that. I'm gonna be saying that all fucking week. I feel like we got cheated out some shit.